Hello everybody. I wanted to get into this Cern article because essentially they're talking about how they're looking for dark photons, or they're looking for certain particles that are essentially extremely difficult to detect or to view naturally. And with Cern doing this, one of the things that they're doing is they're opening portals to the spiritual realm, because essentially the reason that these particles are so difficult to view naturally or to occur naturally is because essentially these particles only happen when supernatural things are happening. Or in order to analyze some of these particles, in order to view and detect them, these people have to thin the veil. They have to dismantle some of these particles. They have to dismantle these layers of reality using this CERN machine, where they push these particles so fast that it essentially breaks them down almost, or it breaks through a certain physical barrier. And this is what essentially these scientists are trying to do via these particle accelerators. And when they do this, it enables supernatural activity to occur, which correlates with Revelations 9:11, or where it talks about the locusts from the bottomless pit, how they cross over. And the more I look into everything going on, what it means for these entities to cross over, the more I realize that it's interdimensional, along with celestial, along with what's underneath the earth. These beings are not only in space, hidden above the stars, and even in our firmament. These beings are also in dimensions we can't see, and lots of them are straight locked underneath the earth and underneath the oceans. And when this crossover happens, the 3 days of darkness people talk about, from what I know, is that it's gonna be a celestial event, a comet or a star, Apophis. It hits Earth and then it cracks open Earth, which opens the bottomless pit. But something about this celestial event, when it brings down the stars, it also brings down the entities. But this celestial event, when it darkens the sun, when this comet darkens the sun and our whole atmosphere is darkened, something about that darkness allows those entities that reside in that other dimension, it allows them to manifest full fold. So when you have this comet that hits the earth and then simultaneously darkens the sun, while simultaneously opening the earth, and then everything goes dark for that period of time. And for those of y'all who don't know, the sun turning black is prophesized in the book of Revelation. The sun does get darkened, just like what happened with the dinosaurs, where the dinosaurs, one of the reasons they died, there was so much smoke in the atmosphere that there was no sunlight hitting the earth, and they starved to death. So when it talks about the atmosphere being blackened and all of that, it's talking about a darkness that swallows the earth, and it's not good. Lots of people forget what happens before and during these 3 days of darkness, lots of people develop an amnesia, completely forget. And that's why United Nations, that's why they often reference a great reset, or you know, they treat these current time periods like it's really going to be forgotten. Because truthfully, when the 3 days of darkness happens and when everything else happens, most of this stuff will be forgotten. And once most people have merged themselves with technology, once most people have altered themselves, they're definitely not going to remember their former selves. Whatever they're going to be hooked up to is going to suppress all of that. And if it doesn't suppress it, it's going to give you no attachment to your former self or to, what your life was prior to that. You know how most crackheads, they start smoking crack and it's like they end up homeless on the street and the only thing they care about is crack. It's like they don't recall anything before they started smoking crack. That's what it's gonna be like when lots of y'all take that Neuralink or whatever technology it's gonna be. As soon as y'all take it, y'all ain't gonna remember nothing before that Neuralink. It's gonna be like a clean slate, and you taking the mark of the beast, you worship the beast at that point. That's all you know is the beast. And the whole reason I brought up that analogy was so some of you can visibly see if a drug can wipe a person's memory and turn them into a zombie and a slave. Imagine what a technology could do. A technology which has the capability to produce the same neurochemical reaction as a drug.